Question 1. What is the primary role of law enforcement agencies within the criminal justice system in Arkansas? A. Deciding the guilt or innocence of individuals accused of crimes. B. Enforcing court orders and judgments. C. Investigating crimes and maintaining public safety. D. Sentencing individuals convicted of crimes. Correct answer. C. Investigating crimes and maintaining public safety. Explanation. The primary role of law enforcement agencies within the criminal justice system in Arkansas is to investigate crimes and maintain public safety. This involves various activities such as patrolling communities, responding to emergency calls, conducting investigations, making arrests, and gathering evidence to support prosecutions. While law enforcement officers play a critical role in the initial stages of the criminal justice process, the determination of guilt or innocence, as well as the sentencing of convicted individuals, falls under the purview of the courts. Question 2. Why is honesty an essential trait for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To deceive suspects during interrogations. B. To manipulate evidence to secure convictions. C. To maintain public trust and confidence in policing. D. To advance personal agendas within the department. Correct answer. C. To maintain public trust and confidence in policing. Explanation. Honesty is an essential trait for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to maintain public trust and confidence in policing. Upholding honesty and integrity helps build credibility with the community, fosters transparency in police operations, and promotes ethical conduct within the department. Officers who are honest in their interactions with the public are more likely to receive cooperation and support, which is crucial for effective law enforcement. Question 3. How do computer-aided dispatch (CAD) systems benefit law enforcement agencies in Arkansas? A. By slowing down response times to emergencies. B. By increasing administrative burdens on officers. C. By facilitating rapid and efficient allocation of resources. D. By compromising the security of sensitive data. Correct answer. C. By facilitating rapid and efficient allocation of resources. Explanation. Computer-aided dispatch (CAD) systems benefit law enforcement agencies in Arkansas by facilitating rapid and efficient allocation of resources. These systems enable dispatchers to quickly assign calls for service to available units based on factors such as location, priority, and resource availability. By streamlining communication and coordination, CAD systems help improve response times to emergencies, enhance officer safety, and optimize the deployment of law enforcement resources. Question 4. What is the purpose of the Miranda warning in Arkansas? A. To inform individuals of their rights during a traffic stop. B. To intimidate individuals into confessing to crimes. C. To advise individuals of their constitutional rights during custodial interrogations. D. To prevent individuals from exercising their right to remain silent. Correct answer. C. To advise individuals of their constitutional rights during custodial interrogations. Explanation. The purpose of the Miranda warning in Arkansas is to advise individuals of their constitutional rights during custodial interrogations. These rights include the right to remain silent and the right to legal representation. The Miranda warning ensures that individuals are aware of their rights under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution before being subjected to police questioning in a custodial setting. Failure to provide the Miranda warning may result in the exclusion of any resulting statements obtained in violation of these rights. Question 5. How does community-oriented policing differ from traditional law enforcement approaches in Arkansas? A. Community-oriented policing focuses solely on reactive responses to crime. B. Community-oriented policing prioritizes individual officer initiatives over community engagement. C. Community-oriented policing emphasizes collaboration and problem-solving with community members. D. Community-oriented policing encourages isolation from community concerns and priorities. Correct answer. C. Community-oriented policing emphasizes collaboration and problem-solving with community members. Explanation. Community-oriented policing differs from traditional law enforcement approaches in Arkansas by emphasizing collaboration and problem-solving with community members. Instead of relying solely on reactive responses to crime, community-oriented policing involves building partnerships, engaging with residents, and addressing underlying community concerns and priorities. By working together with the community, law enforcement agencies can develop tailored strategies to prevent crime, enhance public safety, and build trust and cooperation. Question 6. What is the role of law enforcement officers in Arkansas during natural disasters? A. To prioritize personal safety over public safety. B. To evacuate affected areas without coordinating with other agencies. C. To assist with emergency response efforts, including evacuation, rescue, and maintaining order. D. To ignore emergency calls from residents until the disaster passes. Correct answer. C. To assist with emergency response efforts, including evacuation, rescue, and maintaining order. Explanation. The role of law enforcement officers in Arkansas during natural disasters is to assist with emergency response efforts, including evacuation, rescue, and maintaining order. Officers may be tasked with coordinating evacuations, directing traffic, providing security at emergency shelters, conducting search and rescue operations, and enforcing curfews or evacuation orders as necessary to ensure public safety and minimize the impact of the disaster on affected communities. Question 7. Which of the following is an example of a local ordinance that law enforcement officers in Arkansas might enforce? A. Federal tax regulations. B. State vehicle registration requirements. C. City noise ordinances. D. State building codes. Correct answer. C. City noise ordinances. Explanation. City noise ordinances are an example of local regulations that law enforcement officers in Arkansas might enforce. These ordinances establish limits on noise levels within city limits, including restrictions on construction noise, loud music, and other disturbances, to maintain peace and quality of life for residents. Law enforcement officers play a crucial role in enforcing these ordinances to address noise complaints and ensure compliance with local regulations. Question 8. When is the use of force justified for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To exert control over compliant individuals. B. To punish individuals for minor infractions. C. To protect themselves or others from imminent harm or death. D. To intimidate individuals into compliance. Correct answer. C. To protect themselves or others from imminent harm or death. Explanation. The use of force is justified for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to protect themselves or others from imminent harm or death. However, the use of force must be proportionate to the threat faced, and officers are expected to consider alternatives and de-escalation tactics whenever feasible to minimize the risk of injury or escalation. Arkansas law and agency policies outline guidelines and restrictions on the use of force to ensure accountability and uphold the constitutional rights of individuals. Question 9. Why is physical fitness important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To intimidate individuals during law enforcement encounters. B. To evade physical confrontations altogether. C. To maintain readiness for the physical demands of the job. D. To discriminate against individuals based on appearance. Correct answer. C. To maintain readiness for the physical demands of the job. Explanation. Physical fitness is important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to maintain readiness for the physical demands of the job. Law enforcement duties often require officers to engage in physically demanding tasks such as foot pursuits, defensive tactics, and carrying heavy equipment. Maintaining optimal physical fitness helps officers perform their duties effectively, reduce the risk of injury, and ensure their ability to respond to emergencies and protect themselves and others in challenging situations. Question 10. What strategies can law enforcement agencies in Arkansas implement to address substance abuse issues within their communities? A. Ignoring substance abuse problems to focus on other priorities. B. Criminalizing individuals struggling with addiction. C. Implementing collaborative approaches involving prevention, treatment, and enforcement. D. Relying solely on punitive measures to deter drug-related offenses. Correct answer. C. Implementing collaborative approaches involving prevention, treatment, and enforcement. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Arkansas can implement collaborative approaches involving prevention, treatment, and enforcement to address substance abuse issues within their communities. These strategies may include community outreach and education programs to prevent substance abuse, diversion programs to provide treatment and support to individuals struggling with addiction, and targeted enforcement efforts to disrupt drug trafficking networks and reduce drug-related crime. By working collaboratively with other agencies and community stakeholders, law enforcement agencies can address the root causes of substance abuse and promote healthier, safer communities. Question 11. What is the primary goal of community-oriented policing in Arkansas? A. To increase arrest rates and convictions. B. To promote transparency and accountability within law enforcement agencies. C. To improve public safety through collaboration and partnership with communities. D. To prioritize enforcement of minor offenses to maintain order. Correct answer. C. To improve public safety through collaboration and partnership with communities. Explanation. The primary goal of community-oriented policing in Arkansas is to improve public safety through collaboration and partnership with communities. This approach emphasizes proactive problem-solving, community engagement, and building trust between law enforcement agencies and the communities they serve. By working together with residents, businesses, and other stakeholders, law enforcement agencies can address underlying issues, prevent crime, and enhance the quality of life for all members of the community. Question 12. Which of the following is an example of a constitutional right protected by the Fourth Amendment in Arkansas? A. The right to a fair and speedy trial. B. The right to bear arms. C. The right to freedom of speech. D. The right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. Correct answer. D. The right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. Explanation. The Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures by government authorities, including law enforcement officers. This means that in Arkansas, law enforcement officers must have a valid warrant or probable cause to conduct searches or seizures of individuals, their property, or their belongings. Failure to adhere to Fourth Amendment protections may result in evidence being deemed inadmissible in court. Question 13. During a natural disaster in Arkansas, what role do law enforcement officers play in ensuring public safety? A. They prioritize their own safety above all other considerations. B. They coordinate response efforts with other emergency services and agencies. C. They focus solely on enforcing evacuation orders without regard for community needs. D. They avoid engaging in rescue operations to minimize risk to themselves. Correct answer. B. They coordinate response efforts with other emergency services and agencies. Explanation. During a natural disaster in Arkansas, law enforcement officers play a crucial role in ensuring public safety by coordinating response efforts with other emergency services and agencies. This includes assisting with evacuations, providing security and traffic control, conducting search and rescue operations, and coordinating with local authorities to address emerging needs and challenges. By working collaboratively with other responders, law enforcement officers can help mitigate the impact of the disaster and protect the lives and property of residents. Question 14. What is the purpose of Arkansas state statutes relevant to law enforcement duties? A. To create unnecessary bureaucracy within law enforcement agencies. B. To restrict the authority of law enforcement officers. C. To provide guidelines and regulations for lawful conduct and enforcement actions. D. To exempt law enforcement officers from legal accountability. Correct answer: C. To provide guidelines and regulations for lawful conduct and enforcement actions. Explanation: the purpose of Arkansas state statutes relevant to law enforcement duties is to provide guidelines and regulations for lawful conduct and enforcement actions. These statutes outline the powers and responsibilities of law enforcement officers, establish procedures for carrying out their duties, and define the legal framework within which law enforcement operates. By adhering to state statutes, law enforcement officers can ensure that their actions are lawful, accountable, and consistent with the principles of justice and due process. Question 15. Why is proficiency in defensive tactics essential for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To instill fear in individuals encountered during law enforcement interactions. B. To use excessive force in situations that do not warrant it. C. To protect themselves and others from physical harm in potentially dangerous situations. D. To avoid physical confrontations altogether. Correct answer: C. To protect themselves and others from physical harm in potentially dangerous situations. Explanation: proficiency in defensive tactics is essential for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to protect themselves and others from physical harm in potentially dangerous situations. Defensive tactics training equips officers with the skills and techniques necessary to safely and effectively control combative individuals, de-escalate volatile situations, and minimize the risk of injury to all parties involved. By mastering defensive tactics, officers can enhance their ability to respond to threats and ensure the safety and security of the communities they serve. Question 16. Why is accurate and comprehensive report writing important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To manipulate information to support biased narratives. B. To avoid accountability for their actions. C. To provide an objective record of incidents, investigations, and interactions with the public. D. To conceal misconduct and wrongdoing. Correct answer: C. To provide an objective record of incidents, investigations, and interactions with the public. Explanation: accurate and comprehensive report writing is important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to provide an objective record of incidents, investigations, and interactions with the public. Reports serve as critical documentation that may be used in court proceedings, administrative hearings, and internal investigations. By accurately documenting relevant information, officers can ensure transparency, accountability, and the integrity of law enforcement operations. Question 17. In Arkansas, under what circumstances may law enforcement officers use deadly force? A. To punish individuals for nonviolent offenses. B. To intimidate individuals into compliance. C. To protect themselves or others from imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. D. To assert authority over individuals exercising their constitutional rights. Correct answer: C. To protect themselves or others from imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. Explanation: in Arkansas, law enforcement officers may use deadly force only when necessary to protect themselves or others from an imminent threat of death or serious bodily harm. The use of deadly force must be justified under the circumstances and in accordance with state laws and agency policies. Officers are trained to prioritize de-escalation and use less lethal options whenever possible to minimize the risk of harm to all parties involved. Question 18. Why is cultural competence important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To enforce cultural norms and values on diverse communities. B. To discriminate against individuals based on their cultural background. C. To facilitate effective communication and build trust with diverse communities. D. To ignore cultural differences and preferences. Correct answer. C. To facilitate effective communication and build trust with diverse communities. Explanation. Cultural competence is important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to facilitate effective communication and build trust with diverse communities. By understanding and respecting the cultural norms, values, and preferences of the communities they serve, officers can establish positive relationships, enhance cooperation, and address community concerns more effectively. Cultural competence also helps officers avoid misunderstandings, reduce tensions, and promote inclusivity and fairness in policing. Question 19. What role do law enforcement officers in Arkansas play in traffic enforcement and accident investigation? A. To prioritize enforcement of minor traffic violations over public safety concerns. B. To ignore traffic laws and regulations. C. To enforce traffic laws, promote safe driving behaviors, and investigate traffic accidents. D. To engage in high-speed pursuits without regard for public safety. Correct answer. C. To enforce traffic laws, promote safe driving behaviors, and investigate traffic accidents. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Arkansas play a critical role in traffic enforcement and accident investigation to enforce traffic laws, promote safe driving behaviors, and investigate traffic accidents. This includes conducting traffic stops, issuing citations for traffic violations, educating the public about safe driving practices, and investigating traffic accidents to determine causes and prevent future incidents. By enforcing traffic laws and regulations, officers help improve road safety and reduce the risk of accidents and injuries on Arkansas roadways. Question 20. How does knowledge of Arkansas's geography and environment benefit law enforcement officers? A. It allows them to avoid patrolling certain areas altogether. B. It helps them navigate the terrain and respond effectively to emergencies. C. It enables them to discriminate against residents based on their geographic location. D. It limits their ability to adapt to changing environmental conditions. Correct answer. B. It helps them navigate the terrain and respond effectively to emergencies. Explanation. Knowledge of Arkansas's geography and environment benefits law enforcement officers by helping them navigate the terrain and respond effectively to emergencies. Familiarity with the state's geography, including its rural areas, urban centers, and natural landmarks, allows officers to plan and execute patrol strategies, conduct search and rescue operations, and coordinate emergency response efforts more efficiently. By understanding the geographic characteristics of their jurisdiction, officers can adapt to changing environmental conditions and ensure the safety and security of the communities they serve. Question 21. Why is integrity important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To manipulate evidence and testimony to secure convictions. B. To cover up misconduct and wrongdoing. C. To maintain public trust and confidence in the justice system. D. To prioritize personal gain over public safety. Correct answer. C. To maintain public trust and confidence in the justice system. Explanation. Integrity is important for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to maintain public trust and confidence in the justice system. Officers are entrusted with significant authority and responsibility, and the public expects them to act with honesty, fairness, and transparency. By demonstrating integrity in their actions and decisions, officers uphold the principles of justice and ensure that the rights and dignity of individuals are respected. Question 22. In Arkansas, what factors should law enforcement officers consider when making split-second decisions in dynamic situations? A. Personal biases and prejudices. B. Agency policies and procedures. C. Public opinion and media coverage. D. Safety of individuals involved and legal requirements. Correct answer. D. safety of individuals involved and legal requirements. Explanation. When making split-second decisions in dynamic situations in Arkansas, law enforcement officers should consider the safety of individuals involved and legal requirements. This includes assessing the level of threat posed, evaluating available options for de-escalation and intervention, and ensuring that actions taken are consistent with agency policies, state laws, and constitutional principles. By prioritizing the safety and rights of all parties involved, officers can minimize the risk of harm and uphold the rule of law. Question 23. How has technology transformed law enforcement practices in Arkansas? A. By eliminating the need for human intervention in policing activities. B. By increasing transparency and accountability through the use of body-worn cameras and digital evidence. C. By allowing law enforcement agencies to operate without oversight or regulation. D. By infringing on the privacy rights of individuals without cause. Correct answer. B. By increasing transparency and accountability through the use of body-worn cameras and digital evidence. Explanation. Technology has transformed law enforcement practices in Arkansas by increasing transparency and accountability through the use of body-worn cameras and digital evidence. Body-worn cameras provide a visual record of law enforcement interactions, helping to ensure that officers adhere to professional standards and legal requirements. Digital evidence, such as video recordings and forensic data, can also be used to corroborate accounts, support investigations, and enhance the integrity of criminal justice proceedings. Question 24. What role do law enforcement officers play in disaster preparedness and mitigation efforts in Arkansas? A. They prioritize their own safety over community needs. B. They collaborate with other emergency services and agencies to develop and implement disaster response plans. C. They focus solely on enforcing evacuation orders without regard for community needs. D. They avoid engaging in disaster response activities to minimize risk to themselves. Correct answer. B. They collaborate with other emergency services and agencies to develop and implement disaster response plans. Explanation. Law enforcement officers in Arkansas play a crucial role in disaster preparedness and mitigation efforts by collaborating with other emergency services and agencies to develop and implement disaster response plans. This includes conducting risk assessments, developing evacuation and sheltering plans, coordinating response efforts, and providing assistance to affected communities before, during, and after disasters occur. By working collaboratively with other responders, officers can enhance the effectiveness of disaster response and ensure the safety and well-being of residents. Question 25. What is the exclusionary rule, and how does it impact law enforcement practices in Arkansas? A. It allows law enforcement officers to use illegally obtained evidence in court proceedings. B. It prohibits the use of illegally obtained evidence in court proceedings. C. It permits law enforcement officers to conduct searches without warrants. D. It requires law enforcement officers to provide Miranda warnings before questioning suspects. Correct answer. B. It prohibits the use of illegally obtained evidence in court proceedings. Explanation. The exclusionary rule prohibits the use of illegally obtained evidence in court proceedings in Arkansas. This rule, established by the U.S. Supreme Court, is designed to deter law enforcement misconduct and safeguard individuals' constitutional rights, particularly their Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable searches and seizures. Under the exclusionary rule, evidence obtained in violation of the Fourth Amendment, such as through unlawful searches or seizures, is generally not admissible in court proceedings, regardless of its relevance or probative value. Question 26. Why is proper firearms training essential for law enforcement officers in Arkansas? A. To intimidate individuals during law enforcement interactions. B. To compensate for inadequate de-escalation skills. C. To ensure the safe and effective use of firearms in accordance with agency policies and state laws. D. To discourage individuals from exercising their Second Amendment rights. Correct answer. C. To ensure the safe and effective use of firearms in accordance with agency policies and state laws. Explanation. Proper firearms training is essential for law enforcement officers in Arkansas to ensure the safe and effective use of firearms in accordance with agency policies and state laws. Firearms are tools of last resort for law enforcement officers, and their use must be justified under the circumstances and consistent with legal standards and professional guidelines. By receiving comprehensive firearms training, officers can develop the skills and judgment necessary to respond appropriately to threats while minimizing the risk of harm to themselves and others. Question 27. What information should be included in a law enforcement report documenting a traffic accident in Arkansas? A. Personal opinions and subjective observations. B. Biased interpretations of events. C. Objective facts, descriptions of the scene, and statements from witnesses. D. Speculative conclusions and assumptions. Correct answer. C. Objective facts, descriptions of the scene, and statements from witnesses. Explanation. A law enforcement report documenting a traffic accident in Arkansas should include objective facts, descriptions of the scene, and statements from witnesses. This information helps create a comprehensive and accurate record of the accident, which can be used for legal and administrative purposes. Including personal opinions, biased interpretations, speculative conclusions, or assumptions in the report can compromise its credibility and reliability, potentially affecting the outcome of legal proceedings or insurance claims related to the accident. Question 28. What strategies can law enforcement agencies in Arkansas implement to address substance abuse issues in their communities? A. Ignoring substance abuse issues to focus on other priorities. B. Enforcing punitive measures without offering support or treatment options. C. Implementing community-based prevention and intervention programs. D. Using excessive force to deter individuals from using drugs. Correct answer. C. Implementing community-based prevention and intervention programs. Explanation. Law enforcement agencies in Arkansas can implement community-based prevention and intervention programs to address substance abuse issues in their communities. These programs may include educational initiatives aimed at raising awareness about the risks and consequences of substance abuse, as well as outreach efforts to connect individuals struggling with addiction to treatment and support services. By working collaboratively with community partners, including healthcare providers, social service agencies, and advocacy groups, law enforcement agencies can help reduce substance abuse, improve public health outcomes, and enhance community safety. Such proactive approaches prioritize harm reduction, rehabilitation, and support for individuals affected by substance abuse, aligning with broader public health goals and evidence-based strategies for addressing addiction and related issues. Question 29. Why is community policing considered an effective approach to law enforcement in Arkansas? A. Because it allows law enforcement officers to operate independently without community input. B. Because it fosters positive relationships between law enforcement agencies and the communities they serve. C. Because it focuses solely on aggressive enforcement tactics to combat crime. D. Because it disregards the needs and concerns of community members. Correct answer. B. Because it fosters positive relationships between law enforcement agencies and the communities they serve. Explanation. Community policing is considered an effective approach to law enforcement in Arkansas because it fosters positive relationships between law enforcement agencies and the communities they serve. By engaging with community members, building trust, and collaborating on problem-solving initiatives, law enforcement officers can gain valuable insights into local concerns, priorities, and resources. This collaborative approach helps improve public safety, reduce crime, and enhance the overall quality of life for residents. Question 30. What legal standards govern the conduct of law enforcement officers during interactions with individuals in Arkansas? A. The use of excessive force and intimidation tactics. B. Compliance with agency policies and procedures. C. Adherence to state and federal laws, constitutional principles, and professional standards. D. The manipulation of evidence to secure convictions. Correct answer. C. Adherence to state and federal laws, constitutional principles, and professional standards. Explanation. The conduct of law enforcement officers during interactions with individuals in Arkansas is governed by adherence to state and federal laws, constitutional principles, and professional standards. Officers are expected to uphold the rights and dignity of individuals, act with integrity and impartiality, and comply with legal requirements and agency policies. This includes respecting individuals' constitutional rights, such as the Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable searches and seizures, the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and the Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial.